Hello and welcome to my first ever art tutorial. Hooray! Now for this art tutorial, I mainly want to talk about line width, line strength, how you do with sketching, learning about opacity, shading, quality, and so on and so forth. So these are all going to be exercises that will help you with, all that. I will be making anatomy, shading, coloring, any type of other tutorials that revolve art in the future, but for now I want to show you guys a video on just workouts that will help you improve, while it's also just something nice and easy to do for like the first 10 minutes before you start drawing. Warming up is an important part of you being an artist and working on whatever big projects you have going on throughout the day, because it's like exercising. You don't just go in and grab the biggest weights available in the gym and just hope for the best. No, you warm up, you stretch, you move your legs a little bit. And that's what you need to do with drawing. You need to move around your hands and warm up. You don't just go in there and wonder why you're tired so early on into the project or stressed out or something. You need to please warm up. So here are some warm-ups that will be of use to you. So in my sketchbook, I made a 10-piece grid so I can do different types of shading. So I will do hatching, cross-hatching, circulism, contouring, scribbling, zigzag, Z-lines, blending, short dashes, and stippling. Also, don't judge me because I did rush my examples because I want you to get the idea across visually, but this is obviously not the best work I've done. My suggestion for these type of exercises though is for you to do it on pencil and paper, because I know with digital forms of medium, they do help you with stabilization when it comes to straightening your lines. So it's not completely accurate on your hand strength when it comes to you actually doing it traditionally compared to digitally. So if you're someone who wants to try it out digitally, because you don't have any like resources like pencil, paper, and so on, go on ahead, but I do suggest you do it with pencil and paper. If you're someone with more inking mediums, I also suggest using it with pen and paint brushes and so on, just to give you more confidence with the medium you are trying to improve on.
Hi!
So in my first column, I'm going to do hatching. And you know what's fun about hatching? It's the most common used type of shading in social media. I don't know, when I look at other people's art, I see it very common. So it's very nice to practice it because I feel like there's something that you're going to be using a lot. Practicing making it darker on both ends, but then making it lighter in the center, which is what you can see here as an example. So doing most of the lines in the corner, then less lines as you go out to make it look lighter and brighter. Then going back in and making more lines to make it darker once more. Cross-hatching is another technique I commonly see because it's close to hatching, and it's one of my favorites, to be honest. What I try and do with my exercises is I try and make all the corners dark and I try and make it lighter in the center. So as you can see here, dark, then getting lightest to center, then dark again. And that's how I try to control my opacity for cross-hatching. When it comes to circulism, you just have to do little circles. So just draw in tiny little circles and just keep making more and more and more little circles until you have a whole page full of circles. But I suggest making opacity like I always do. So corner, dark, bunch of circles, a million circles even. And then as you go lighter, that's less and less and less circles. And boom, you have something similar to what I have. Hopefully neater though. Just like with my makeup, I suck at contouring, but contouring is the next one. Keep it the same, make it darker, make it lighter. I was doing multiple takes because I am bad at this, but try your best to make the curves as smooth as possible, and you'll get the idea down. By chance, were you one of those kids that scribbled on your walls? The scribbling exercise I feel like is my favorite just because of how much freedom you have. Just stay inside the box. I did not, obviously, because I had too much fun with my freedom. But it just feels like, it gives me like childhood feelings, whenever I scribble around the place. Next one is blending, which is a classic in my opinion. I do it all the time. I love doing it. I'm sorry, I don't have a proper tool. I usually just go with my fingers, which is why I get charcoal and stuff everywhere. Because whenever it comes to these like dry type materials, I just have them all over my fingers. You must trust your hand and the process. Short dashes really do just help get your like fast-paced hand movement across, just like so you can get used to it. Because I always see people who are so nervous and will be so slow with their strokes, but honestly, being faster, just I don't know, I feel like I have more control just being like, For the Z exercise, I will admit that this is the one I lack the most and I do need to practice on more often, but it was nice getting it done for this video. When it comes to stippling, it's such a beautiful art form, and the way of like darkening your picture by having more dots and lighting up your picture by having less dots, you know, the opacity and so on, it's very interesting, but God, does it hurt my hand after a while. I've done a couple of pieces with stippling and it took me forever, but it is just like a zone out type of style. Like I will be stippling while watching videos, movies, whatever, and just be going until my hand hurts. Next to the McDonald's, to be honest, it just trees. But like doing the little trees is also something that I haven't done often as a practice routine. But it is kind of like, it's pretty chill, I guess. Give it a 3 out of 3. Here are all the exercises done. Good job, great. I'm going to move on to a couple of more exercises before the video ends because these will help you with more in-depth knowledge of being an artist. Now, when it comes to these exercises, it goes more in depth with perspective and how shapes work when it comes to drawing the objects you are interested in. So animals, people, and anything so on that involves shapes. And everything can be broke down into a couple of shapes. So being able to blend shapes together and morph and merge shapes and seeing how all of that just goes into practicing can help with you breaking down other objects when you go out and actually do your projects. When it comes to these type of shape projects, I want you to do blending, I want you to do hatching, stippling, so on. Use the technique that you learned from the last practice and build upon it with this practice. So I want some 3D objects, 2D objects. I want things to blend into each other. I want some shapes inside. I want some shapes outside. I want you to just practice and build upon shapes and shading. Do whatever you feel is best, but also step out of your comfort zone when it comes to these type of practices. This exercise is similar to what we did before, but the difference is I'm adding a line of action to all of my shapes. So curls, twists, turns, and so on. I'm going to make a line of action with all these twists and turns and add shapes to be around it. So my shapes will move with the line and be on the perspectives, short, tall, big, small, with the line. Now for your last practice, I want you to go to lineofaction.com. This is a website that will help you with your sketching and your fluidity of the person or object or animal you were trying to draw out. When you get onto this website, you can choose whatever you want and you can put it on a timer. So you will not be thinking about the detailings of the object. You will be thinking more about the build of the object and how they will look on the page. I want you to fill that page with as many poses you can in the amount of time that you have chosen. Now, when you put yourself on a timer, the website would just go off automatically, so it'll switch from pose to pose to pose. I want you to keep going down when you get more comfortable, so 60 seconds, 30 seconds, so on. I want you to get comfortable with being fast with sketching. I hope this tutorial video helps you out, and I plan to make more in the future. Just be patient with me because these do take time. I stream every weekend at 8 p.m. EST on Twitch and YouTube. If you want to see more of me, if you liked what you see with the video and you want to see more of my tutorials, you can hit that notification button, subscribe, like, do what you need to do on this website, baby. And I hope to see you guys in future videos. If you have any questions, comment down below. I also have a Discord if you want to ask any questions there as well, or show me some of your art and we can just critique and do our own thing with it. I love helping people with art, and I hope to make more tutorials to aid you guys in your succession. So I hope to see you in the future.